Alright, welcome back to another Minecraft modding with Blockly tutorial, and in today's video we are going to be talking about the idea of variables. So what is a variable, how you use a variable, and how do you use it to essentially create stuff inside of Minecraft. So let's go ahead and look at it. So if you haven't watched my video on Introduction to Data Types, please go and rewatch that video. It does cover some important concepts that I'll be covering in here. But essentially, a variable is a container for a data type. Now, there's something very important to remember with data types is that they will behave as the data they contain, and that is a very important point that you must understand. So let's go ahead and look at an example. Right here is an example of a variable inside of Blockly. You can set a name for your variables. Let's say I want this to be 7. This can now take a data type. So if I want this to be, for example, the number 7, I would go to math, grab 7, and put in the number 7 here. And just like that, you have 7 here, which is your variable, and then this is the data type, right? Let's look at a different example. Let's say I have set 7 here, and I type in 7. Now, I have 7 equal to the data type string, which is a 7. These are not the same though. This is a data type string, and this is a data type int, right? So these are not the same. These two things are not equal. Just want to make sure we understand that, as you can see, right? All right, so how do you use variables in programming? Let's go ahead and look at a way to create a variable that builds a structure. To do that, you are going to grab a new data type, which we haven't talked about, but it's very specifically used only really in Minecraft Blockly, so that's why. But we're going to create a variable here for a drone. And whenever you name variables, it's important to know that you can name variables whatever you like. That could be the name of your variable, okay? It could be drone, or it could be D. I recommend you always name variables what they represent, because if you tend to use them later, you're going to want to know what the variable is. So since this is a drone, I'm going to name the variable D here, right? Now D represents a new drone, so I'm going to go ahead and grab my function here and call it a main. Now I can tell D to do things. So for example, let's say I want my drone to move up 1. I can assign my drone here, I can assign the direction here, and I can have it move up 1. Now, you might be wondering what a drone is. Well, let's go ahead and talk about it. A drone is the invisible square in Minecraft. It's the box selector. So you can see the little box there highlighting in this corner here. As you can see, it changes here. This is a drone. So it tells me what box I'm going to be hitting, right? And I can assign this drone to do many different things. Okay, going right back over to our integrated development environment here. So I've now set D to be that invisible box. I can now tell that invisible box to move up 1 and then to place a block type. So for example, a diamond block. This will place a diamond block in front of me, right? And this is a good example of how I gave the drone a name, D, and then manipulated it throughout my program. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at an example here. I'm gonna go ahead and mod this in. I'm gonna go jump over here now, click 9, grab my mod, 59 should be the correct one, click 3, and up, wrong mod, whoops, there's creepers. Let's see here, should probably be this one then, 4, and there is my block. And as you can see, it generates a block upwards. And this is a good example of how you can assign, again, variables to build stuff and do stuff inside of Minecraft. Alright, and that includes our introductory video on variables. If you had any questions, comments, or concerns about this video, please leave your concern/question in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.